it seems like you're guilty as soon as you're brought here. There's no getting out of it. It's literally just one big room with a bed and shackles. And there's a picture here which I'm not going to show, but this was clearly just a torture room. So between 14,000 and 17,000 people were brought here over the span of 4 years, and 12 survived. It's just mind-blowing, and I guess this museum's here as a reminder. G'day guys, we've got a bit of a different video today. I'm actually visiting the Genocide Museum here in Phnom Penh. I'm doing this solo because I didn't think it was really the right thing. I mean, obviously not the right thing to be doing with Lila, but also Mandy. But I did feel like this is such an important part of the Cambodian history that needs to be recognised and that I wanted to see for myself. So the Genocide Museum, also known as S-21, was a former high school that was turned into basically a prison during the Khmer Rouge regime in the late 70s for about 4 years. I believe it was 75 to 79. And this is honestly one of the most notorious prisons in the world, in history. And what happened here in Cambodia in general, but in particular in this prison, is absolutely mind-blowingly brutal. Cambodia at the time had a population of about 8 million people, and close to 2 million people were killed during this genocide. This was all at the hands of the Khmer Rouge, which was a communist dictatorship that overthrew, I believe it was the government at the time, or it may have been the monarchy, and they tried to install communism by force. So they tried to move everyone out of the cities and into farms and basically work as slaves. And this went on for 4 years, and anybody who questioned it or didn't go along or just simply didn't comply, or were maybe just targeted by the Khmer Rouge, were taken to this prison. They were interrogated, they were tortured, basically to admit to things that they didn't do, or dob in family members or friends, really just to intimidate the people, and they ended up being killed. It wasn't as simple as just the government decided to install some new procedures. Like, this was done by force, and it was absolutely horrific. As I said, it went on for 4 years and nobody stepped in. Nobody did anything really to help the Cambodian population until Vietnam, which is just next door, finally said enough's enough. Like, we can't let this go on, and they came in and invaded, and they freed the Cambodian people from the Khmer Rouge regime. And who knows what would have happened if they didn't do that. But I felt like, as much as this may be a depressing sort of thing to do, it's a really important part of Cambodia's history that I didn't want to overlook. I've read about it, I've listened to podcasts, I've watched videos, but I feel like going and visiting it myself and actually seeing what took place is going to hit home a little differently. And I want to share that with you guys. So I get a lot of comments on this channel about me not smiling enough, not being jovial enough in some videos. I can pretty much guarantee you right now I'm not going to be smiling or jovial in this video, because I think I'm going to see some pretty brutal stuff, and it's going to really hit home. So be prepared. This is the museum?
Yeah.
Okay. Thank you. Okay, just got in. I didn't use a tour guide or the audio guide. Maybe I should have. I'll see how I go, just walking around and looking at everything for myself. But first thing you see here is the discipline board, which has been translated from Khmer to English. And it says here, number 1, you must answer accordingly to my questions. Don't turn them away. So I guess once people get taken here, this is the rules they have to abide by. Don't try to hide the facts by making excuses about this or that. You are strictly prohibited to contradict me. So you basically can't disagree with whatever they're saying to you. Don't pretend to be ignorant, for you are a chap who dares to thwart the revolution. So it seems like you're guilty as soon as you're brought here. There's no getting out of it. You must answer my questions immediately without wasting time to reflect. Don't go on about your minor mistakes or infringements of the moral code or on the essence of the revolution. Not really even sure what that means. I guess they just don't want you to say anything, unless it's what they want you to say. While getting lashes or electrification. Wow. You must absolutely not scream or cry out. Jesus. How do you do that when you're getting electrocuted or lashed? Do nothing, sit still and wait for my orders. Okay, so that's just while you're here in general, you have to do nothing and sit still. If there is no order, keep quiet, and when I tell you to do something, you must do it right away without protesting. Don't make pretext about kombucha from in order to hide your secrets or your betrayals. If you don't scrupulously follow all the above rules, you shall get many lashes or electric shocks. For every infringement, 10 lashes or 5 shocks. Wow. You can see here it's written in the original rules here, and then they've imprinted it on this sign and translated it into English. That's pretty incredible already, to be honest. So what that tells me is you get brought here and you're treated as a guilty person. And if you argue what they're, I guess, charging you with or accusing you of, you're going to get lashed, you're going to get electrocuted, punished for it. And then, man, that was heavy. If you get punished, if you get lashings or if you get electrocuted and you make any noise, then you have broken one of those rules, so you're going to get lashed or electrocuted again. That is insane to read that, because what do? You may not have any choice. What if you can't control yourself? You're just in a constant cycle of punishment. That is brutal. Wow, I just had a list of all the prisoners that were detained in this room, aging from 17 years old to 39, and it said the entry date, and all of their entry dates were the same day, which just so happens to be our daughter's birthday. It's literally just one big room with a bed and shackles. And there's a picture here which I'm not going to show, but this was clearly just a torture room. Can you imagine being in here and hearing and watching somebody getting tortured and knowing that that's going to happen to you next? And for what? For speaking up against the government? Yeah, these are all torture rooms. The list out the front has like 12 different names, and it says they all entered on the same day. Don't know what these boxes are here. I think they're boxes of bullets. It says cartridges, 56mm. Don't know. Maybe it's an electrocution box or something. whatever it is doesn't look good. This one has 4 beds next to it, so. And when I say beds, they're just steel frames. Wow, this one's probably the most graphic. It looks like his feet are shackled. He's got a chair holding him down. And I don't even know if I can describe it. Part of him's missing, let's just say that. So obviously what happened, I mean, why would they take photos of this? I don't understand. But obviously when the Vietnamese came in and took down the Khmer Rouge, they kept all of this intact as sort of evidence. From what I've heard, most of the Khmer Rouge fled to the Thai border. They ended up coming back and giving some resistance. I haven't heard that many of them were actually held accountable and went to prison, which is just pretty horrific, honestly. This is the part that gets me, is all these prisoners, it says they entered on the same day. So were they all just held in here and had to watch what was happening to these other guys? Or were they brought in one by one, tortured, killed, and then they move on to the next person? Oh man. I don't even know what happened to that person. So between 14,000 and 17,000 people were brought here over the span of 4 years, and 12 survived. So describing it as a prison is actually pretty inaccurate. It was a torture camp. People were brought here to confess, guilty or not guilty. And then once they confessed to whatever it was they were accused of, they were taken to the killing fields. This wasn't somewhere where you were held and being punished and then you'd be released or whatever. This was literally just somewhere where they wanted to get information out of you and then they take you away. This is like maybe 3 foot wide, maybe 6 foot long. These are the holding cells. Just over 6 foot tall as well. This one's even smaller. This one's probably 2 foot wide. So they just have to sit here and wait to go up there. I just read some pretty shocking stuff. So apparently there was 79 kids reported as being brought here, but they don't know if that's even true. They think there could be a lot more. And there's a lot of photos of kids on the wall. In fact, everybody looks quite young. So basically, if you were considered a traitor, even if you were just a member of the old parliament that was overthrown, you were a traitor. And they said basically any family member, anyone associated with a traitor is considered a traitor also. And what they would do was separate the kids from their family members and tell them that they were taking the children somewhere else just to reunite them with other people, and they would take them to the killing fields. I did read that the children weren't tortured like the adults, which I guess is some kind of relief, but I mean, at what point can human beings get to the stage where you're just killing children? I mean, the lack of humanity in this whole place is just insane. And for what? Power? Like, if Pol Pot was really trying to make a better country, how is killing a quarter of your people under these conditions? It's insanity. And what's even more insane is that so many people went along with it and were participants, because this wasn't just a few people doing this, this was an entire army. How did they all have the same belief system? How do you strip a child away from their mother? And I even saw the way that they were executing children, which was basically beating them to death. Like, are you kidding me? For political purposes? Come on, man. It's just mind-blowing. And I guess this museum's here as a reminder. And it really shows, honestly, I think it's probably why Cambodian people are the way they are, because they've been through so much. I mean, if you're over 50 years old, you were here during this time, so you experienced it. And then what? You're just going to complain about like everyday life after you've seen that shit? I don't think so. Makes you really put things into perspective. Oh, well, that was heavy. I'm not going to the killing fields. I feel like it's probably an important thing to do, but this is our last day in Phnom Penh, and I just don't have time. It's about a 45-minute drive out of Phnom Penh, and honestly, I don't know if I can stomach it, man. Like, after reading what they did, the way in which they killed, especially children there, I think that's enough for me. Hope you got some value out of this video. Sorry for the somber subject matter, but I feel like it was important, and I'm glad I went. Yeah, I'm glad I went. I feel a little bit more connected to the people now and what they went through. Pretty insane, man. Anyway, please subscribe if you found this video informative or helpful at all, because it helps the algorithm show it to more people, and I think it's a good message to get out of what we can avoid in the future and never go back to.